No, they're not. That was just a joke. No, but that will be a holding point because with these athletes, smaller division athletes, just the weight versus that sandbag, I'm really anxious to see who gets held up when they get down there. Younger age division, they have the energy, they have the pep. They also, you don't usually see them hold back as much or have that composure the same as the veteran athletes. So I do expect to see some speedy movers here on the bike.
Your overall leader on the boys' side is Gustavo Pusch, who won the lone event out here last night at North Park. He then went inside and won the 1-rep max snatch. Isaiah Weber out of CrossFit Kinesis was the #1 seed out of the age group online qualifier. They are in lanes 10 and 11. Caden Myers, who came out with his hair on fire yesterday in the run to start things off, is in lane 14. On the women's side, the one they call Fish, Morgan Hickson, is in lane 33. Dariana Rosales, Hannah Martinez Zarazua, the two Mexican competitors, in lanes 36 and 37. Riley Beebe had the win out here yesterday at North Park, is in lane 27. And the tall, lanky Emily Meyer, I think she's taller than both of us combined, Tanya Wagner, is in lane 24.
And for these ladies, they know what is ahead of them. You know, they're working through just their pacing. What do they have to do at each portion of this? The handstand walking is something that, you know, these girls growing up in this sport, it's something they've seen early on. And getting upside down, being on your hands, knowing that that's an expectation at the CrossFit Games is no surprise.
And I feel like a lot of them are gymnast background, especially at this age nowadays. And I feel like I need to back that up with a number now that I don't have for you. But a lot of them at this age will say, yeah, well, I was doing gymnastics and I found CrossFit.
And I found it's similar to my gym as well. And that's, you know, you see that because it's a natural, like, oh, I can just go do that because they see the movements. And that's sometimes the misconception of coming into CrossFit that I should be able to do this. And no. You're seeing people folks that have done this in a previous life. But now I feel like it is more of a common, you know, at a younger age, my kids and a lot of kids, they just see that, oh, you can just do that. It's not necessarily pull-ups, rope climbs, handstand walking isn't necessarily a gymnast thing, and I think CrossFit's starting to change some of that.
That is Samuel Kwant's younger brother, by the way. Podium finisher on the men's side last year. Of course, had so many expectations this year, but ran into a medical situation that impacted him at the Mid-Atlantic CrossFit Championship. But Nathan Kwant does carry the banner for the 7 Kwant children.
Yes, he does.
There are 7 of them.
And to know that your big brother is your fan and, you know, can give you the tips when it comes to this, there's nothing better than knowing you have that, you know, him in your ring and for your support system. If Samuel's told him to breathe and stay relaxed, it's what he's doing right here. Just big, deep breaths, and that is exactly what you should be doing right now.
It's scary, and it's a different world in terms of how you come into the sport, but Sam has said in interviews before that Nathan is light years ahead of where he was at this point in his career. First to the GHD on the women's side. Of course it is. Olivia Kerstetter in lane 32.
Powerhouse Olivia Kerstetter. She just demolishes CrossFit movements, strength movements. Can we say about last night?
She won the snatch. Not in the age group. She just won the snatch.
She overall won the snatch. 202 pounds, 17-pound PR here at the CrossFit Games. I mean, you can't come in with much better or with much more, you know, motivation, or I should say riding just the adrenaline, what that boost gave you after a PR like that.
Look at the cycle time, though, in lane 35 for Delaney Wade. She was flying through those GHDs. Leader on the men's side is Ty Jenkins. He's 3rd overall with a 3rd, 5th, and 3rd place finish in the 3 events yesterday. A finalist in the trials online competition that happened in 2020, when it's basically what we have, especially in the age groups for the teenagers.
Upside down the field. Olivia Kerstetter.
Olivia Kerstetter, this is lightweight.
No worries for her. She's going to cruise through these 42 dumbbell squats.
And this is what we talked about in the other age group, where a portion of the event that is a nuisance, so to speak. This is a nuisance for her to then get to the separator of the handstand walk.
Yeah, she just needs to kind of, it's just, you got to get through these, and it won't damage her the same way. You know, the loading still here is fine with the 20 pounds. But really, I'm looking at, you know, her first event was her lowest place finish in that run, and she has just come back so well. And knowing you have that one behind you, I just feel like we're going to see more of her confidence grow in these more traditional events. And it should be scary for those other girls next to her, just knowing her capacity.
Hand is in the air for Olivia Kerstetter. Delaney Wade is on the right side of the screen, the one they call the Dia-Beast. One of 2 type 1 diabetics that is actually competing in the teenage division this year. Michelle Jean on the men's side as well. Olivia Kerstetter now. Question is, as a powerhouse athlete, hey, how are your gymnastics? Just fine.
Totally good. We're good to go there. Check. Unbroken. And she's
still going.
You want to see the first athlete? It's here.
All the way through for Olivia Kerstetter, and Tanya, really no sign of fatigue at all.
She doesn't need to do this, but she can, and she did.
There's a little bit of stomp on the throat in Olivia Kerstetter right there.
Yeah, you know what? I can do this, and why not?
And I want everybody back there watching me do it.
Yes. Just a reminder, 14 to 15-year-old division, Olivia Kerstetter, 15 years old.
How good is Olivia Kerstetter? She's 15 years old, but when her sister Ellie qualified to the games in 2018, Olivia was 12 years old. She did the age group online qualifying workouts. She would have qualified to the games in 5th place.
It's unbelievable. And when you are competing like that at that age, look at her. She is leaps and bounds ahead of the whole field, boys and girls division. You know, and this is similar to the Smith brothers, the Panchik brothers. When you have siblings that you are watching, look up to, age is kind of like, I can do that. I see you do, I want to do that. Samuel Quant here, or with his brother here. I love that aspect of when your blood is nearby, and that competitive sibling rivalry makes for fantastic athletes.
Ty Jenkins is the only guy on the handstand walks right now. Meanwhile, every girl is currently handstand walking. The girls are smoking the guys on this event. A little bit more weight on the dumbbell squats, but still.
Developmentally, though, at this age division, you will have a lot more of the athletes, just a little more muscle mass with those women or with the ladies, just from a developmental standpoint. I think we see that starts to balance out a little bit more 16 to 17-year-old division, but even still for some of the boys, it's just a little bit later for them to develop.
Will Olivia Kerstetter go unbroken again for another 84 feet of handstand walking? She's going to try. Olivia Kerstetter is going to throw down a gauntlet, slam a door, lock it, and throw away the key.
My goodness. That is incredible.
Olivia opened with a 12th place finish in the run. She then went 2nd, she went 1st, she goes 1st, and it's the biggest first you could have imagined.
Under 9 minutes. Hugs her coach, Jacob Hefner. He has been pumped about her for a long time, and now we get a chance to see why.
He's crying.
he posted he has been crying. More crying with this. I mean, how proud. I mean, just to see that type of just display of fitness and that performance, nothing but pride there. She's a hard worker.
You know, Haley Adams had the most dominating performance in CrossFit Games history in 2018 across any team, age group, individual, anything, ever. She only lost 2 events, and she came in 2nd on both of them. That's off the table for Olivia Kerstetter with the early 12th place finish. but I'm going to be very curious to see how dominant this win could potentially. I'm not going to crown her yet, but if she continues to do what we just saw, it's going to be really interesting to see where in the annals of history she could put herself if she keeps that up.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Six minutes left here in the time cap. Your lead is still with Ty Jenkins. Isaiah Weber, though, also going to work, number 141, the white shorts.
With so many athletes here at this stopping point, all the squats, kind of trying to find your lane. And the pressure, I feel like, at these younger divisions, when you are side by side like that, man, it is hard to ignore who is right next to you and what they're doing.
We just saw Bianca Miller kick down. This is a phenomenal string of handstand walking. And a second place finish on the women's side. Bianca Miller's going to come in third. I think that might have been Trista Smith that came in second. Dariana Rosales, Tefi Escudero there to hug her on her completion. Emily Meyer is so tremendous on her hands. She'll come through with a top quarter finish in the field as well. And now here comes Isaiah Weber. Jenkins is right behind. The thing about a handstand walk, you can see the guy coming up behind you.
The fatigue, though, in his shoulders.
Will Jenkins have to break here? Can Weber make up ground? We've got a three-way race. Weber falls, it's a no rep. Jenkins legs it out. Big event W.
What a race there. Oh.
That will wind up being a photo finish, absolutely. To the naked eye, I think Jenkins egged it out, or eked it out. But I don't know for sure.
Well, I don't know because the chip timer is on their ankle. It's not on their wrist. So it really was about the foot finish, not necessarily the hand finish. One foot went forward. But man, I gotta tell you, Weber went for it. He gave it his all. He tried to be quick to squeak that hand in before the foot fell. Just couldn't get it in. But
J.R. Mestre was the other of the three athletes there, and I think he could be the one that sneaks out the W after Weber fell down at the line. Jenkins officially does pick up the win. Mestre comes in second. Tanya, oh my goodness. 6/100ths of a second. Isaiah Weber winds up 5 seconds behind them after he had to restart and kip up again. Delia Moises, I appreciate a good bucket hat during the workout.
trying for some style points there with the dismount.
It is gymnastics time at the games.
Oh, it's true.
Silver medal for USA yesterday. 2 minutes left here on the cap, and it's just so impressive what Olivia Kerstetter did when you look at the athletes filing in 2 and 3 minutes behind her. Caden Hogan collapses. Again, he was the one who yesterday just blew the field away. He ran a 6-minute mile pace in event 1. Tanya, we kept watching him thinking he was going to run out of gas. He didn't.
He sure didn't. He knew his pacing. Got a lot of guys still working on the sandbags.
2 young ladies doing that. Everyone else is on to the final stages of their handstand walks. This has proven to be a heavier, I think might be the way to say it, event for the guys being able to deal with that sandbag.
Yeah, for sure, this age division, it is with a 100-pound sandbag. That's a lot. Weight to ratio, or weight to weight ratio for them, too, with a lot of these guys.
2/3 of your body weight in some cases.
You know, and that's...
if not more.
And that's the thing, just the compounding effects of that. Whew.
You're going to have to pay for that. Gustavo Pusch, this is damage control for him. He came in first place overall, but he finished with 30 seconds left to go, and there's still 11, 12 guys behind him.
Plenty of field, and that's, you know, that's what helps him, is the field where they finish absolutely is helpful to him.
Harvey Rarig just staring at that sandbag in front of your screen, about to hoist that back up here, try to get a couple more reps in. This all comes down to reps and tiebreakers. Where are you on the sandbag squats? How many reps can you get in under your belt here in these final 5 seconds? As we hit the cap at 16 minutes for the boys and girls ages 14 and 15. I think she's 24. There ain't no way.
Moves like it. It was the Olivia Kerstetter show here for event number 4. Man, she was in a league of her own. She was all by herself there on the field for a long time. She just crushed every portion of this chipper, but it was this really impressive first flip to her hands where she went unbroken on that 84-foot handstand walk. Super impressive. This is a little glimpse of how far ahead of the field she was, the entire field of 14 and 15-year-old competitors. And then her final handstand walk with just one break, just dominated and crushed that event. On the boys' side, a big hug from her biggest fan, Jacob Hefner, her coach. But over on the boys' side, Jenkins really had a race. He was racing all along here, worked his way through. It was the handstand walks that was a little wobbly there for him early on, but he found himself in a handstand race on the second set of those handstand walks. And it's really all about composure when you're racing his hand. He just squeaks by right there by the chip of his ankle.
Ty Jenkins, Olivia Kerstetter are with Amanda.
Olivia, no doubt that you dominated this event today, but let's talk about the handstand walks specifically because you went unbroken. What was your plan for those coming into this?
I was just going to go into it based off of feel, and they actually felt way better than I expected, and I definitely surprised myself going unbroken.
Were you planning on going unbroken or not?
No, I was actually going to do 42-foot increments on the first round and then see how the second round felt, but I felt good going into them, so I just went for it.
You just kept on going. Worked out pretty well. Great job out there.
Thank you.
And we also have to talk about the finish in the young man's division here. What was that finish like for you?
I just saw RJ out of the corner of my eye and knew his handstand walks were pretty good. So I was going to break initially at 42, but I knew if I wanted a chance, I had to go unbroken. So
I think they call that games magic when you're out here on the competition floor and these fellow competitors are pushing you. Is that what happened?
yes, for sure. The adrenaline rush helps a lot. So
Great job out there, guys. Thank you.
Teenage win and a fist bump there for Jenkins and Kerstetter in the 14 and 15-year-old age bracket. Oh my God. Like there's an entire commercial break that happens on live television between when Olivia Kerstetter and Trista Smith finished.
Demolished that event.
That's insane. On the men's side, it was much closer at the top. Literally. Less than a second. Ty Jenkins the win. Isaiah Weber was in position, but just came up short and had to kick down and then kick back up. Comes in third.